call this meeting of the Woburn School Committee to order for June 24th, 2026. If you are able, please join us in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the Superintendent, Secretary to the School Committee, please call the roll.
Ms. Chisholm.
Here.
Ms. Crowley.
Present.
Ms. Morena.
Present.
Ms. Nagel.
Here.
Mr. Oliveira. Ms. Wetzel.
Present.
Ms. Cormier.
Present. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed by Woburn Public Media Center, and by speaking, you consent to being recorded. Please silence all devices and cell phones. First item on the agenda is public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make their way up to the podium? Speakers, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Please refrain from any attacks on Woburn Public Schools employees, and note that we are unable to respond. I know you know. You were unable to respond to your public comment, but your comments will be taken under advisement. Hello, Christy.
Good evening. My name is Christy Nickerson. I'm the president of the Woburn Teachers Association, but I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the entire executive board for the WTA. This school year has been marked by an unusually high number of involuntary transfers involving experienced educators, as well as a significant number of veteran staff members who applied for internal positions and were not selected. While each decision may be viewed independently, the cumulative effect on the staff morale has been substantial. Many educators who have dedicated years and sometimes decades to serving Woburn students are questioning whether their experience, their commitment, and their contributions are truly valued. When long-serving employees are moved from positions that they have successfully held or repeatedly overlooked for opportunities within their own district, it creates uncertainty and discouragement among the very people who have helped to build our schools. Our members understand that staffing decisions must be made. However, we urge district leadership to consider not only the operational needs of the district, but also the message these decisions send to the professionals who have invested their careers to the Woburn Public Schools. Retaining talented educators requires more than competitive salaries and benefits. It requires a culture where employees feel respected, valued, and recognized for their dedication. We hope that moving forward, the district will take meaningful steps to rebuild the trust and demonstrate that experience and commitment of veteran staff remain an asset worth investing in.
Thank you, Ms. Nickerson. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak? Mr. Scarborough, come on up.
Hi, my name is Eric Scarborough, 53 Mishwan Road, WTA Secretary. I'm reading on behalf of Rosemary Donovan, former WMHS Head of Guidance. She could not be here today due to a family emergency. This will be in the first person, but it's Rosemary speaking, just to make sure. I have been a teacher, a guidance counselor, and a director of guidance. Since my retirement, I have returned each year to fill in wherever needed because I deeply love Woburn and our school system. It is with this lifelong dedication to our schools that I stand here tonight to speak to our students. For 13 years, Katie Bolcom has been a lifeline in our guidance department. She is respected by staff and adored by students and parents who trust her with their children's futures. 13 years of trust, deep institutional knowledge cannot be replaced overnight. Yet the district plans to involuntary transfer her to teach Spanish, a role she did not apply for, anticipate getting, and does not want. Look for the impact of this decision. If Katie is forced out of our guidance department, we'll simultaneously gain 3 brand new counselors, a counselor of 1 year and a brand new director. That leaves exactly 2 veteran counselors to anchor the entire department. 2 veterans for over 1,200 students. Let that sink in. We are facing a youth mental health crisis. Students are navigating unprecedented pressure. They do not need a fractured support system. They need stability. They need familiar faces like Katie, who already know their names, their stories, and their struggles. In fact, Katie was voted Best School Counselor by this year's seniors. Are we really going to haul out the frontline defense of student support? Are we going to take a master counselor out of her element and leave hundreds of children vulnerable? We are told every district decision centers on student success. So I ask you directly, is dismantling the backbone of our guidance department really what is in the best interest of our students? Please keep Katie Bolcom where she is desperately needed. Keep her in guidance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough / Rosemary. Would anyone else like to address the committee?
Good evening. My name is Donna Sands. I live at 12 Mayflower Road. I retired in June of 2024 after serving 2 years as the Director of Guidance, 18 years as a school counselor, and 5 years as a Special Education Team Evaluation Coordinator. I worked with Katie Bolcom throughout my years at the high school. Up until my final year at the high school, it was my experience that the Guidance Department was a highly valued member of the WMHS team. Under Principals Norton, Finnegan, Callanan, and Martin, guidance members had daily constructive, collegial, and cooperative interaction with the administrative team. We were included on all major conversations about student schedules, program building, and planning to address student needs, attendance, student achievement gaps, ongoing mental health issues, coordination with special education, and other special programs. It was a working, successful relationship. We did not always agree, but we were encouraged to contribute to the conversation. This all changed during my final year with a new principal who is no longer in Woburn, as did the value afforded the guidance department. At that time, guidance members were no longer on the inside. Their experience, the fact that they had direct access to every student and family, was summarily dismissed. Suddenly, not only were they ignored, but I think I can speak for most of us when I say we were treated as the unwelcome cousins at the dinner table. Unfortunately, misrepresentations of guidance members were planted. Unfair depictions of our character were made, and there's been no opportunity to recover. This brings me to Miss Katie Bolcom. I could not tell you adequately how essential she is to the school, the guidance department, and the entire WMHS community. She brings extraordinary dedication, compassion, creativity, leadership, and intelligence to the job. She was always the first to step in and get things done with crazy expedience and the highest quality work product. Her only goals are to improve the delivery of services, advocate for individual students on her caseload and for the entire student body, provide mentorship to new staff, and to make sure everything gets done. Ms. Bolcom's excellence became a target next to others' incompetence. Only in a high school where guidance services have been devalued could it be thought of as a good idea to involuntarily transfer her. Next year, there will be another new director and 2 new counselors. That is already a huge loss to recover from, regardless how great the new folks are. These are big jobs with much to learn procedurally, relationally, etc. Losing Ms. Bolcom to an already depleted department is a bad idea. She is vital. In order for the high school to thrive, for student outcomes to improve, there must be a strong, valued guidance department working closely with all other departments and administration. I ask this committee for your support to ensure this happens. Ms. Bolcom worked under 3 guidance department heads directors. All 3, including Rosemary Donovan, myself, and the current director, have applied.
That's 3 minutes.
Have encouraged her this year or in the past. What?
I assume you're close to done, but that was the 3-minute mark.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
No, well, I said maybe
I'm
you're close.
I am close.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. To have encouraged her to apply to be the guidance director. She would be fantastic, rather than her moving her to teach a subject she has not taught in 13 years and to a population she has never worked with. Current administration should be begging her to assume leadership of the department. Please help me, I'm going to skip over. Please help me right this wrong. There is no conflict that can't be resolved if the adults would talk to each other, listen respectfully, and mediate any differences. Ms. Bolcom is a kind, good human. I ask the administration to give her the opportunity to show you her heart. Isn't this what we want to teach our students? Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hans. Who's up next? Come on down. I think you missed my beginning spiel, but it's 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. What am I missing? We cannot respond, but we will take your comments under advisement.
Alex Lauria, 4 Lake Avenue. My name is Alex Lauria. I'm a Woburn High graduate and a member of the class of 2025. I'm here to show my frustration towards the administration of the Woburn Public Schools, more specifically on behalf of Counselor Miss Katie Bolcom. I've not had many conversations with her at my 4 years of Woburn High, but I was able to sit and talk to her at a wedding on Monday night. I recognized her and I formally introduced myself, and she immediately took interest in hearing my activities post-high school. I told her I enlisted in the Army and that I had been pursuing colleges, and she asked me what I planned to study. I told her I didn't know. I said I was interested in becoming a teacher because my former history teacher, Mr. Toomey, had inspired me. But the only thing limiting me was I feared the wage would not be livable and that it was sort of preventing me from chasing it. We began to talk about the strike from a few years ago. She expressed frustration, but it was never about the money for her. This woman loves being a counselor. We began to discuss problems about the money witnessed in Woburn school system, and in sharing these challenges, she told me about how she's being involuntarily separated from the high school as a counselor and would be moved to the middle school to become a teacher. And I asked her why. She said she fears it's because she spoke out about the former leadership and how problems were not getting resolved, specifically in the guidance department. Last year was chaotic at the high school, but she had the courage to speak up, knowing it could backfire. One could say that it has. What happened to freedom of speech? I'm an advocate for freedom of speech, and that's why I wear the uniform. She spoke up on behalf of the students and the staff's well-being. This is a valuable person to have for teenagers, whether it's an issue adapting to high school as a freshman or struggling to find a future as a senior. Ms. Bolcom is passionate about helping students. Why would we prevent that? Because she wanted to be a voice and speak out against the wrongdoings during Principal Rassinen's term. She legitimately cares and has a passion to help kids. She told me it was her calling to be a counselor. Someone teens need to have access to in this crazy world. When someone enjoys what they do, they naturally will be better at it, and that goes for everything. I ask you today to keep her job as counselors. Woburn schools need people like her in the capacity she thrives in. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lauria. Anyone else that would like to come speak to the committee? Mr. President, come on up.
I'm Ashton Dusablon, 19 Richard Circle.
I'm Jordan Dollywell, 160 Salem Street.
Can you guys hear me all right?
You can just pull it towards your, like,
Okay.
pull it all the way over there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
So just yesterday, I was just chilling, and I heard that Ms. Bolcom was being moved involuntarily against her will to the middle school to teach Spanish, which is something she hasn't taught in over a decade. And at this news, I was very, very upset because I know that I would be a fraction of what I am right now if it were not for Ms. Bolcom. I mean, I came into this high school as a freshman so confused as to what I wanted to do with my life and where I'd be. And I could always go to Ms. Bolcom, whether it be just to talk about my future plans, college applications, should I take the SAT, how do I take the SAT, how do I study for the SAT, I have problems, I need someone to talk to. Ms. Bolcom was there, and I know I'm not alone on that. I have friends who aren't going to college, I have friends who are going into the military, I have friends who are going into the trades, and they all said Ms. Bolcom was someone who made their dreams reality, someone they could talk to. Even if they didn't go to her, they only went to her 3 times a year maybe, just to talk about course selections, just to do that check-in that all the guidance counselors should be doing every year. She was always there and she was always listening. I'll give it to Jordan.
I was with Ms. Bolcom for 3 out of 4 years of my high school experience. Last year I was moved to a different counselor, and I was very upset about that. She has been there for me since I started having some personal issues my freshman year, and she convinced me to join Tanner Tutors, the program that she runs, which would be Left Behind. It's a great program that we use to help a lot of other students at Woburn High. It's very useful for a lot of students who are struggling and want to go to someone that is a little less scary to interact with. I tried my best to get her back last year, and after I wasn't able to, I lost a very valuable person that I could see whenever I needed to. I would go down there and still see her, maybe have some casual conversations, but it wasn't the same. And I think that problems in the guidance department mostly are handled by her. I think that she is very important to them, and without her, I don't know what would happen. Last year was very hard to deal with as a senior graduating, not having someone I was familiar with, as someone who uses the guidance department pretty regularly. And I think that removing her would cause a lot of greater issues. And as a student who has been helped by her, I know a lot of other students who are very upset about being moved from her, and people who got the chance to meet her last year were very happy that they had been moved to her, loved her. And I think that moving her to a different school, although she would thrive anywhere she goes, I don't think that that profession would be the best for her abilities.
Yeah, I just add on what Jordan said. I was also taken away from Ms. Bolcom my last year, and if it were not for those 3 years where she built an invulnerable foundation on my extracurriculars, on my schoolwork, on my plans for the future, I think that it would have gone down the drain at the end of my senior year. The guidance department, as you guys may be well aware, I know as Dr. Crowley is aware from our meetings that we had throughout the school year, it is not in its best condition. At least it's not how I remember it my freshman year. And I think that getting rid of Ms. Bolcom, who's been an invaluable cornerstone of the guidance department, would just leave it all to crumble, because she is someone that I value dearly, and she is someone that I know the entire student body values dearly, and it would not be the same without her there. Well, that is it.
Thank you both. Anyone else that would like to address the committee at this time? Everybody's always so shy. Ms. Peters, I think you know the drill.
Hi, everyone. Emily Peters for Summit Street. I wanted to speak a little bit about AI. As AI is related to your upcoming vote on the high school handbook, please consider removing the AI policy from the handbook, as it will be quickly outdated and should be guidelines outside of the handbook like other districts have done. Additionally, it will take a multidisciplinary group to form a solid AI guidelines. That group needs to be the group needs to include parents and stakeholders. As I've suggested to the superintendent, I strongly feel it would be in Woburn's best interest to form a community tech advisory committee to fulfill this need, like many other districts are doing. While this would allow families, teachers, and who may already be informed in this area and give insight and opinion on this matter, perhaps it could be tied into our wellness committee, since so much of our students' wellness is affected by technology they interact with. It has been said several times that we need to embrace AI in our schools. I would like to know why we need to embrace it at this moment without any research to back this up. Are students using it? Are they overusing it? Are teachers asking for this to be implemented in the classroom? I would like this to be explained why it's so important to do this at this moment so that the community can get behind this. While the superintendent has given me a little information on organizations Woburn has hired to implement AI and AI policy, I still have many questions. I understand the school is working with MIT. Would this be MIT Raise? I found their website to be quite vague and does not seem to show any research on how AI can improve the classroom. If this organization is helping implement AI instruction in the classroom, I would like to hear more about this and the research on this. I would also like to hear more about the Athena organization the district is working with. Finally, Mr. Oliveira did an excellent job of paraphrasing a statement I made at the subcommittee meeting regarding Wellness Committee, but I wanted to clear up one detail. Wellness Committee is appointed by the superintendent, therefore theoretically exempt from being a public meeting. However, as a Wellness Committee is required by law, this leads me to believe it is subject to open meeting under Massachusetts Regulation 105 CMR 215.00. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peters. Anyone else? Don't be shy. All right. That is the end of public comment. Consent agenda is next on the agenda. Do I have action?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. City Council liaison to the school committee. I do not see Mr. Amara. Reports and presentations of the superintendent and staff. I might as well just say Woburn Public Library summer reading. Ms. Megan Cass, the assistant director of the library, is here with us tonight with a presentation all queued up. Come on up, have a seat, please and thank you. If we can hit the light behind her, perhaps, to make her presentation more visible. There we go. Great. Welcome, Ms. Cass.
Hello, everybody. I am Megan Cass, Assistant Director of Woburn Public Library. Thank you for having me here tonight to talk to you about our summer reading program. This is a program that we do every year. It's meant to be for everyone. It is a way for current students to stave off a summer slide and keep their skills sharp for the next school year. And it's also a way for adults and families to have something to do together and to have a bonding moment, bonding activities for each other. So the program runs from June 27th, this Saturday, and ends on August 15th. Okay, so we have 3 different programs based on different age groups, but all these programs are available for everybody. You do not have to be a Woburn resident, although it's always great if you are. You do not have to have a library card, although we are always very happy to make one for you. And it's all free. Most of them have food at the events, and we encourage everybody to participate in any way that they can. So our biggest program is our children's program. It has 2 sub-programs based on the different age groups. So for the school-age children, for both programs, the goal is to get everybody reading or otherwise enjoying books. So for older children, it is meant to read for just one time a day over the course of the summer. If you read for 40 days over the summer, you get a prize. And so for when you register for summer reading, you get a registration packet. Inside that packet is a reading log. As you read, you record what you read. We don't care what you read. We just want you to read. Anything is good. So as you read, you mark it in your log. Over the summer, you visit the library. You show your log to the librarian, and you get a prize. So we give out beads for each book that you read, each day that you read. And as over the summer, you accumulate more and more beads. You build your necklace with the beads. The bigger your necklace, the bigger your bragging rights. Go for it. For every bead that you get, you also get a raffle ticket towards the end. So we have some great prizes this year. We have tickets for Canopy Lake Park, and we also have gift cards for Dave & Buster's. So anybody who participates is eligible to win those. For students who are going to be in grades kindergarten through 5th grade, if they participate by reading for 40 days over the summer, they also get a ticket to Topsfield Fair. It's a voucher that's good for admission for one person, a hot dog and a soda, and 2 ride tickets. So it's a really fun experience, and it's pretty low pressure. We try to just make it fun. We also have a quest. So another way to participate is we have Tanner's Travels. So Tanner and his 6 closest friends are going to be taking up residency throughout various businesses in Woburn. And patrons are welcome to drive by, go by, visit the store, or walk by it. And at each of those locations, Tanner is going to have a secret code phrase. And in your registration packet, you will have a log to record your secret code phrases. Bring them to the library, get your beads, get your bragging rights. We also have a teen program. So the teen program, this is for kids who are going to be in grades 6 through 12 as of this fall. And there are, again, many ways to play. So you can play by reading a book, submitting a book review. That's a raffle ticket. If you attend a library program, all free, various times a day, all have food, you get a ticket, you get a raffle ticket. Or we have bingo boards. Each bingo square, which has its own activity, some are reading-oriented, some are more general activity-oriented. Complete a bingo square, get a raffle ticket. If you get an actual bingo, you get a grand prize raffle ticket. So weekly raffle tickets are usually gift cards to various local restaurants or businesses. The grand prize raffles are a Wooble kit, a Lego dinosaur fossil kit, a Dino Nugget pillow, or emotional support dumplings. And shout out to our teen advisory board who take these prizes. And you can just see a sample of what a bingo board would look like. The adult program for ages 18 plus is run very similarly to the teen program. So read a book, submit a review, that's a raffle ticket. Attend a library program, raffle ticket. Or adults have 2 quest boards. So very similar to the bingo board, just a slightly different format. And so they have different activities on them. Some are as simple as read a book outside. Some are more activity-oriented, visit a Woburn landmark. So community-oriented, reading-oriented, different fun you can have around town. You can complete as many game boards as you like. Everybody who participates in this program is automatically entered into the weekly raffles. We have some very interesting custom charcuterie boards that were created in our makerspace, as well as gift cards to Dave's Hot Chicken and YMCA memberships. Let's see. This is an example of what the adult game board would look like and its different activities. So this Saturday is the start of our program. We have a big kickoff event. The event will have 2 parts. So from 1 to 3 o'clock, we have a local author book fair. This has about 20 different authors from Woburn and surrounding towns who are going to sell their books, talk about their writing process, and it's a great kind of meet and greet activity. Register for summer reading. The Friends of the Library will be there giving out some tasty treats. So it's always a good chance to mingle. We'll have lawn games. We'll have lots of things to do out there. It's usually a scavenger hunt or 2. And we will also have dogs. From 12:30 to 1:30 will be the Flying High Dogs. Let me tell you, these are champion Frisbee catchers. They are adorable, and they are going to be putting on quite the show. So assuming the weather's good, they'll be on the front lawn 12:30. If the weather's inclement, we will be inside, and because it'll be a smaller space, that would require registration. So there's lots of fun to be had. This is usually a very popular program. Children's program is, of course, the biggest one that we have. So last year we had 921 participants. We are hoping to reach 1,000 this year. For our teen program, we had 191 participants. And for our adult program, we had 331 participants. We had over 3,000 raffle tickets earned. We had over 450 books reviewed. So we do really have a lot of participation, and we're always looking to grow. And hopefully we can get as many prizes to people as we possibly can. That is the goal. And our goal has been possible because of our community sponsors. So I want to thank everybody in the community who is making this possible. And that is my show. So I hope to see everybody at the library this summer for summer reading. Or if you don't want to come to the library, we can take you over the internet too. That's fine. But, so more information's on our website.
Thank you, Assistant Director Cass. Would you take questions from the committee?
Of course.
And while we're on this topic, there is also an adult program this summer related to the Unearth a Story on July 24th, a Friday, that people should be looking out for because the adults can have fun in the summer too. Miss Vice Chair Crowley.
I'm just curious as to what the correlation is between Woburn Public Schools and the library in terms of advancing summer reading.
We promote the Woburn Public Library program.
Nice.
Yes.
I guess I'm just wondering if there's grade level books available so that, you know, the continuity of kids reading on their level when they finish like the 4th grade, are there books on their grade level at the library available for them?
Our librarians definitely put together recommended reading lists.
Awesome.
And members of my department are in communication with the library.
Yeah, I figured that. That's great to know. So it's, you know, it's not just fun and games. It's serious literacy
Reading
going
is
on.
funny.
We have room
Yeah.
for
Middle
achievers
July.
and overachievers as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Some of these
great.
boards can get very competitive, let me tell you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Ms. Wetzel?
I'm very excited. We love, my family of 3 kids, love the library, love the summer kickoff and the summer reading program. We've been doing it for a while now, so thank you. I know a lot of work and thought goes into that. I had a couple questions, though. The sheets that you'll fill out to complete, is that going to be just paper, or is it digital? Or,
It is digital
so
as well.
it's either way, whichever
Yes.
works best for the kid or adult?
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. And then I know you guys were just inside the elementary schools because my kids came home with information in their backpack. So I think that's really helpful for parents to get not just word of mouth from their kids, but also the handouts that go home and the information and all the fun stuff that you have going on in the summer.
We love to visit and share, so anytime.
They were very happy, so thank you. And then I was talking with your new archivist, I think Jenna?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at Juneteenth, and she was saying in the teen room there's going to be free food in the summer. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Sure. Woburn partners with a nonprofit organization called Food Link, and they make regular deliveries to the library every 2 weeks or so of food that is left over from grocery stores that did not sell. So we have food every single week in our teen room. It is available to all teens, free, just help yourself. And if there are adults or children not in the teen room who need it, they are also welcome to help themselves to that cart. The library also purchases supplemental sacks at various programs, but there is always some source of food.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Really appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Mrs. Chisholm?
Well, just as we had curriculum before this meeting, so it just, this to help the summer slide would be awesome for the kids to take part in this, and I hope that we get a lot of parents that take advantage of everything that Woburn has to offer, and I thank you so much for coming and presenting to us tonight. So, you know, wish you the best of luck, and I hope the library is overflowing every single day. And thank you for doing this to help our students, so that they stay up to where they are right now when they leave, and they come back at the same point.
Sorry.
Vice Chair Crowley?
I was just curious if you get kids from St. Charles, too?
We definitely do.
Oh, nice.
Definitely.
That's great.
We
And
have-
do kids from other cities, or mostly just the Woburn kids?
The very vast majority of the participants in the programs are Woburn residents, but we do, especially with the adult program, get a little bit more radius.
And all of the sponsors that you put up on the screen before, that's where this is purely funded by, or is the library funding sort of this initiative as well?
The very vast majority of this is funded by the Woburn Public Library Foundation. The Woburn Public Library, Friends of the Woburn Public Library are also big supporters, and everyone who is a sponsor of this has contributed in some way. But the majority of the funds come from the Woburn Public Library Foundation.
I'll make a motion to write a letter of acknowledgement to the foundation for supporting Woburn reading.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. WPL Foundation.
Do you know who that is, Colin?
I am familiar, yes. Thank you. Anyone else with any questions? Mr. Mulrennan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know you showed it quick on the slides, and some people may have caught it or not, but you're offering some of these programs remotely. I know the library has a fantastic website. If you want to just get the website out there, you're on cable TV tonight. Spread your message, spread your links and your website so people at home can get it and get online.
Thank you. Yeah, it's woburnpubliclibrary.org if you want the quick link. Oh, I went too fast. That's why. Thank you for telling me.
I know I saw it quickly, but
Oh no, what did I do? I went too fast is what I did.
that's I didn't know if it was a separate thing.
Oh, thank you. Let's see.
One more.
Yay, there we go. So wpl.pub/summer-reading, or go to our homepage and under the events menu.
Thank you very much for that information.
Thank you.
Dr. Crowley?
Thank you for coming. Easy question. Can you talk a little bit about museum passes that the library provides?
Absolutely.
Great question.
There are lots of various museums in the area and further out in the state who have programs where you can come to the library and check out a pass. A lot of the passes these days are actually on-demand passes that you can get online. So you print out the voucher or you send it to your phone and you show it. You go to the museum with it, and it is good for a severe discount. Some tickets are good for 50% off. Some are for 10% off in the gift shop. But there's lots of them.
And how is this funded? The museum
Friends
pass
of the
program.
library.
Incredible. Yes, Ms. Wetzel.
Actually, Dr. Crowley made me think of another question. So I know when we think of the library, we oftentimes just think of books, but you have so many more books are obviously fabulous, but there's also so many more resources. If somebody wanted to know more about what the library has, like the library of things or the games, the puzzles, is there a spot on your website where they could find that out, or a person to come to the library that could help explain and show them where things are located and all the ways to use the library?
Definitely. We have a services menu on our website that will list a lot of them. And anybody inside the library would love to give you a litany of the various things. As you mentioned, there is a Library of Things program, which has lots of the non-traditional library items, so everything from a battery tester to a soil meter we have a lot of assistive technology devices. We have recently added Chromebooks and laptops to the Library of Things that can be checked out and taken home. So if anybody doesn't have access to one, that would be a good thing to use over the summer. We have a notary. We have a makerspace where you can come and submit 3D print jobs or wood engraving jobs to do. We have a lot of technology assistance. We have tech help twice a week where you can get free IT support. And we have a lot of programs like that.
Great, thank you.
Ms. Nagel?
Now, because of everything that you said, I'd be remiss if I didn't say just a huge shout out to all of the librarians, because I know that for people who may not be accustomed to going to the library and may not know about all of the incredible resources, perhaps hearing a list of, we have all these things, and you're like, how do I even use them? And just to say that all the staff at Woburn Public Libraries are phenomenal and can talk about anything and can make anything available or more approachable and accessible to kids. I know my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old, they are in love with the library, as am I, and I'm not surprised that we get folks from other places because our library is the most beautiful library and it's got the best staff. So just a big shout out to all of the staff and the incredible work that you do in making even things, times that I've been like, I don't know, he's really into unicorns that are fighting crime. I have a book for that, right? And it's pretty impressive what you all do and how you just make information and adventure accessible to all.
Any last thoughts for Assistant Director Cass? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you this summer. Up next, we have the WMHS handbook approval. Vote anticipated. Mr. Coaley is making his way to the podium. We have had an opportunity to review these changes.
Madam Chair, would it be okay to take a couple minutes? Recess?
You know what? That would be great. Would you like to make such a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to take a 2-minute recess.
Motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. That is a 2-minute recess.
So the process with our handbook, we reviewed it with the school council. We came up with some changes to propose. We sent it through the attorney's office. They went through, they made a lot of recommendations. So that handbook, I accepted all the attorney's recommendations. I don't want to go against him. So what I'm going to present now are just the changes or the additions to the handbook. So I put them all in one document so we didn't have to scroll through 88 of them. So the first thing is mainly at the top, it's the student handbook acknowledgement form, the parent signs, or the guardian, they've read it. We just wanted to change where they have to submit it if they do not approve for their pictures being included in school-based and community-based publications. Generally, parents don't complain about it, but I'd rather them opt out than worry about somebody that didn't return it and opting in. Local graduation requirements. We talked about this with the program of studies. It was added to the program of studies. But this adds the personal finance class, which we have a lot of kids signed up for next year. Whether it's the AP finance class or the regular personal financial literacy class. So this is all set to be added in, and that's for this year's juniors, the rising juniors. Also with the program of studies, we adjusted the promotion policy a little bit. We set it up so that kids who are a couple of classes behind can still get promoted, knowing that they can either do the night school or the summer school to recover that credit. So we don't want to keep them back if there's a chance that they can move forward. All right. So scroll down again to the weighted grade point average. It's funny, it was a little bit different in the handbook than it was from the program of studies. So the green part is what's in the program of studies, and for the most part it's the same. There are a few slight differences in it. So the red is what was coming out, and the green what's actually in our program of studies. With the academic recognition standard, this is old language that we didn't use. If you scroll down more, keep going, a little bit more, right there. So this was in here, I don't even know, we don't have a 5.25 GPA. I mean, that's better than us valedictorians. So it's funny, like the green part is what they've actually always done, is what I was told, so that's why we just added that. All right, next. With the Honor Society, the Faculty Council that reviews the National Honor Society, they recommended we raise our standards a little bit, so we went up to a 3.7 on a 5.0 weighted scale. The National Honor Society statutes, if you say, they give us a little bit of wiggle room on where we want to put that line, as long as we consider it high standards. Also in the character standards, if you go up just a little bit more, right there we added that students who have been suspended from school, including in-school suspension, will be ineligible for the National Honor Society. We added this just for some clarity. And then the next thing is it's actually a DESI requirement. It's the seal of biliteracy. So it was just the standard language. There we go for that. That was submitted by Rania Caldwell, so I trust her. Scroll up a little bit. The wellness policy really wasn't up to date, or it wasn't accurate of what was actually going on. So if you scroll up, so this is what was coming out. If you scroll up a little bit more, that's the green part added. And then the same thing with health education. It was just cleaned up a little bit more about our standards that they use and the different lifelong skills they use. All right. So summer school, That's all that was in the handbook, is that red. So we decided to add all our credit recovery, so kids can either go to summer school, they can do night school, it's really afternoon school where they actually have to pay a fee and they can do work, and we have teachers after school that work with the different kids based on the subject. So you can get all 4 math, English, science, and social studies, and they can do that credit recovery. There's a fall session and a spring session. So we decided to add all this in there. Edgenuity, our online learning platform, it's currently Edgenuity. We use that with students who are going to be out of school for a while due to a documented illness or various reasons. It could be a long-term suspension and so forth. So we use this. It's not to replace learning in the school, so it's not for somebody who's currently enrolled in the school and can come to the school on a daily basis to use, but it's more for the kids who cannot come into school. And this goes along with tutoring. There's usually tutoring provided, and then they just work on their own and so forth. All right. Sorry about the AI policy. This was submitted, and the attorney, he liked it. He actually didn't make too many changes, so that was good. The teachers have been asking for it through the teacher leadership team to come up with a legit policy. Some of the prohibited uses you see there is using AI tools to create pictures or content and so forth, so we made sure that that was specifically stated in there. But this was the different AI issues. Some kids do legit put something in AI and turn the whole thing in AI. I mean, AI can be useful. I actually wrote this policy with AI. I put in a lot of the good stuff, and then they clean it up for me. It made me sound smarter. So anyway, like I said, the lawyer liked it. They usually love to go through with the red line, and they didn't actually cross much out, so that was good. Just scroll up a little bit. Next, I just added this in about our Saturday school. We added this year. We had 8 sessions. I want to say we had probably averaged about 40 kids at a session. So the kids came in, they were able to make up some missed work. They don't go in there and play games on the computer. If they don't have something, they have to write multiple essays and so forth. So I just put that in as subject to funding, but it was really helpful to a lot of kids. I think some kids, they just like a place to go. They come in and they got breakfast out of it and stuff, and find gets a better attendance at that than they do regular school. But that went very, very well this year. Go up a little bit with the UV equipment. We just added meta glasses. I never heard of them until it was videotaping with them. The glasses, they have a little red light and they videotape, so we decided to add that in there. Go up a little bit to the dances and proms. We usually didn't let the kids get dismissed, and we decided this year, and with the senior prom and kids needing to get to the promenade by 4 o'clock, underclassmen that usually wouldn't be able to get on early, we let them leave right after lunch at 12:15, just to give them a little bit more time to get ready. So we added that in there, but that's once again for the senior prom only. And finally, the last thing is food delivery. That has been cut way back. Well, I think before I got there, they have a lot of issues where food delivery drivers were showing up at any door. They could say door 25, and the kids are down there, or they're propping the door open for the person to come in, and it creates quite a safety hazard. We also would have people ringing the doorbell to get in, and it really disrupts the flow of the office and so forth. So for the most part, it's worked pretty well this year. If it comes in, the food gets put behind the desk and the kids can get it at the end of the day. And after that happens a couple times, they generally don't order it. So those were the proposed changes. They were accepted by the school council back in May, I believe it was. Approved by the lawyer. Well, now it's up to you guys. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Quayle? Yes, Ms. Nagel.
I have questions and comments. So The first one is with regards to the National Honor Society. With regards to the students who have been suspended not being able to be eligible for the National Honor Society, is that something that comes from the National Honor Society, or is that something from
There
us?
is a clause in the thing with related to discipline. I don't know if it specifically mentions suspension. That's the way it's always been. It just was never actually written somewhere. And that's the way it is at the middle school as well.
Has there ever been any instance where, understandably there was a suspension, so obviously something was looked at, and this was the only means that we saw for disciplinary action because other things have been exhausted and this was in the best interest, but that perhaps this was, whether it was a mistake or something that was highly unusual from a child who may have been undergoing certain circumstances and context where piling on the fact that maybe they've been exemplary throughout their schooling and now they've made one bad choice or one mistake and that kind of ruins it for them. Like, has there ever been exceptions or wiggle room? Or
I've only been there for one cycle from the Honor Society,
Yeah.
but it's tough if you have a gray area like that
Yeah.
because who's going to judge on what is out of the ordinary than what isn't? So that would create a lot of debate and room for discussion and so forth.
Yeah, I understand that. I just wonder if there can be, like, I'm thinking about kids that a parent dies or something
Well, they're
tragic
not going to get
happens to them.
suspended for that.
No, not for that, but they might make certain choices or decisions, where they've been exemplary, and it just a thought for us to be thinking about. And I understand the gray area and getting complicated, but wondering if there is a way for there to be some judgment that can be input in things like this, because you know your students best and you know those circumstances best. And being able to, in that moment, decide, I mean, this was extremely unusual. And I still have to suspend you, right? Because, like, I have to remove you, but I don't know, just a thought. The other piece is just with regards to AI, I really appreciate the whole section that you wrote and that was cleaned, massaged, as you mentioned. My only concern with this is based on what we know about AI right now, and AI is moving so quickly that by the time we vote on this, we go off to summer, we come back in September, it might not be relevant at all anymore. So I wonder if there can be something even broader when it comes to AI policy that links to a more dynamic body or approach to constantly staying abreast of AI.
The last line says, because AI technology is rapidly evolving, school guidelines and expectations regarding AI use may be updated as needed during the school year.
Precisely. But the guidebook is not, the handbook is not going to be as easily updatable. So I'm just wondering if that line is perhaps even more than enough, almost. Maybe just a little bit more, but just because it's just changing so rapidly. So that was just my thought with AI. And then the last piece is perhaps even simpler, just with the mention of Meta glasses. Meta glasses are specific to a company, so it's like talking about Kleenex instead of tissues. And because, again, the rapid evolution of technology, I wonder if we can remove Meta glasses and just talk about, like, smart glasses, because these could belong to any company, and someone could try to be real smart about it and be like, you banned Meta glasses, you didn't ban Amazon glasses, right? And so just trying to stay ahead of...
Yeah, I can just change it to glasses with a recording camera in there.
Exactly. recording devices.
I didn't even know that was a brand, I just thought that's what they were called.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tom's
Thank you
getting
so
an
much.
education today. Ms. Wetzel.
Hi. Actually, first, thank you for all the work on this, and I appreciate that. And I agree with the Meta glasses. There's actually two big brands that do there's other ones too, but there's like two big ones. I'm curious, though, if a student were using it for accessibility purposes. So a lot of the visually impaired community uses Meta or AI glasses because it tells you what's in front of you, so they're not using it to record. They're more using it for accessibility. We could make an exception if that were the case then.
Yeah, that's definitely, anytime anyone has a disability or something
Right.
like that needs it, that's automatic.
Okay, perfect. And similar to Ms. Nagel as well in the AI piece, I don't really have any information, anything to add to what we have here. I think it's gone through a lawyer. You wrote it. But I did want to know, because I was just reading something, and there was a 15-year sorry, I wrote this down so I didn't say it wrong, but it took us roughly 15 years to figure out how to deal with cell phone use in education, specifically in minors, and we're finally sort of getting a figure on what that looks like, and then that whole generation was exposed to something that we really didn't fully understand, and I fear the same with AI, and I don't want us to take 15 more years to figure out what that's going to look like. There was a college professor that was saying his students couldn't sit and stay focused to write a 20-page paper, which is a lot, mind you, but regardless, they couldn't focus on doing that because they were so in tune to putting stuff into a computer and using something so I don't have an answer or solution, but I do think it's something that we need to keep talking about and trying to figure out. I don't think it just is AI. I think it goes to cell phones, to computer usage, to really technology as a whole, to better understand what that looks like. I'll get off my soapbox, but I think it's important, and I'm glad it's a working document in here. And I do think it's something that maybe we update this once a year, but it could be like an add-on or something like, hey, we're changing this thing and an addendum or something like that to it if we need to update it. But I'm anxious to see where it goes and how we respond to it. Thanks.
Mr. Oliveira.
I certainly agree with the AI part in this. While this directly talks about the high school, we definitely have a larger conversation district-wide as to what this looks like and how we use it. I want to stress the Meta Glass idea as well, where that is the brand, and any person who wants to find the loophole will find that, so adjusting that is good. The only other question I had was on the summer and night school. When you were talking about the fee for students, it says the current fee schedule can be found on the application or asking administration. I'm assuming if it's a student that needs a scholarship, we will provide them with a scholarship.
Yeah, so what it is, I think it's like half price for students on free and reduced. Automatic qualifiers, because now everyone says they're free lunch, but it's only the ones that are direct certified.
All set?
That's it.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? All right.
Ms. Moran, you gotta have something.
Don't encourage him.
Is that the first time ever?
He didn't ask any questions. This guy is a glutton for punishment.
You got to the lawyer, you got to the council,
All right.
you got to everybody you had to get to, so I have no issues with this at all, Mr. Quilly, but otherwise I would have.
Thank you.
I know you did it to an AI anyhow. Glasses.
Not everything.
Vice Chair Crowley.
My only comment is that we desperately need some wording about AI in this policy, and I support that language because if we're going to be, as you know, it's difficult to discipline students. And so if you don't have any notice to them that this is not permitted in the school setting, and you don't have it in the handbook, then you are without any teeth. So it's really important. It doesn't matter to me what the language is or how updated it's going to be, because we can do that at this committee level. But I think it's important to put that in there to declare that we're not going to allow students to abuse AI to replace learning in the classroom, because that's what the teachers need to hear from admin. So I'm glad that it's in there, and I support the language.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Quayle. Have a lovely
Have a good summer.
Have a great summer.
Oh, what do you have of it?
Up next, FY27 adjustment. Our vote that we discussed last week. We've had some updated information. Dr. Crowley.
Yes, so as you know, we need to arrive at a figure for FY '27. I want to say thank you to Mr. Dizio for providing the committee multiple different options and things to consider in arriving at the figure that we need to. So what you have a hard copy in front of you, it's also projected up front, but the figure, the amount that to reduce the budget by was $205,000. So turn it to Alex.
So I wanted to give everyone sort of a list of like menu items. So these are all kind of a la carte items, I would say, to get down to 205,000. I'll talk through them each briefly. The first three are actually relatively new, I think, from the last time we spoke. What I did is I went back to the budget, kind of really dove in, and there were three items that happened subsequent to us voting to send this to City Council, which we did at public hearing. Those three things that have happened is we actually settled the contract for the Malcolm White principal. That came in a little bit lower, so there's a little bit of a savings there. We had a teacher resignation that was a teacher that has been here for some time, so backfilling that at a Master's 5, which is generally what we do to try to fill the position, obviously. Para retirement, we had one, and again, it was like a long-term para. That we would backfill at a para 3, and that's just what we generally use within the budget. So those three items total just over $63,000. I would say that of the 205, those should be included, and then the rest of these items, we can kind of pick and choose as we see fit. Just going down the rest of the list, the Assistant Facilities Director, this will be coming off the ask of the new FTE ad. I think that's been well documented, well discussed. Another option is to promote the current high school facilities director, giving him a $10,000 increase, and then replacing his position with a daytime head custodian. That will be a net savings of about $50,000. These ones in yellow, so these are line items. Homeless transportation and electricity are two items that I would look at. On homeless transportation, we are actually trending closer to about $300,000 this year. So that could be something that we could do, come down as far as $50,000 on that. And then electricity, we don't know the rates yet, so we're kind of throwing darts a little bit here, but, you know, in terms of a best guess, I think we'll be okay coming down $25,000. I wouldn't go too much more than that. And then these last two items, I think I've spoken about before. These would be like my last case scenario. I think this would involve moving the pre-K teacher, the assistant principal at the Reeves back into the pre-K, what do you call it? The pre-K revolving, yep. Which I would not recommend. And similarly, the lunch monitor line would include moving almost $60,000 of lunch monitors back into the revolving account. So those last two I've included as options. And then down below, and I think you see on the paper, I know I sent this out as well, so I'm sure you've had time to digest the options. I updated in option 5 at the bottom to include the top three items that we talked about, the total to $63,000. And where I made up the difference that we had to come up with was to also come off the ask for the Assistant Facilities Director. And then the remainder would come off of homeless transportation, which is about $11,000, and that gets us down to the $205,000. That to me is, I don't want to say best option because I don't think any of these are best options, but that to me is perhaps the leading option. I can of course take any questions, entertain any questions or finagling that you want to do with these options.
Can we scroll down to that on the screen here?
Yep.
Thank you. Yes, Mrs. Chisholm.
I have 6A. I've been trying, because this is my thing, this assistant facility director, I really think that is important to keep, and I think that if we do this way, because it would be, if we do it without putting it in the budget now, it's going to be an after July 1st hire, and we get in trouble for that. So my thing would be, let's put the assistant facility director at $65,000 and plan on hiring them January. That way, Mr. Burnham could have the summer to get through all his summer projects and things that he has on his plate already. In the fall, we can go through personnel and have their whole personnel thing, the job description, come through them, get that all critiqued, so by December, we can hit the road and post this position and hire in January. That way, it would be in our budget. It would be something that we had budgeted for. It would be the $65,000. We can do the $63,000, which is the personnel adjustments that you talked about.
Yep.
And then we can do the $50,000 for homeless transportation, electricity for $27,000, gets us to $205, and we're done. Thank you very much for coming. So, because...
Thank you, Finance Lady.
Well, because I just think that, we need this position. It's been talked about for decades. It's something that, Mr. Burnham has talked about needing himself. And we think about the fact that he's running these buildings, and I know we have student-facing, and I say if these buildings aren't ready to be open, we have a huge student-facing problem. And I think that if we can put this person in the position in January, it gives us 6 months to prove to the council, too, exactly what we've done and how much it was needed and how much it's helped the schools. And I think this is a win-win for everybody. And I just think that this gets us to the dollar we need, and we can make everybody happy, or at least me. So that way it can move the district forward in that position. And we also have to think of the fact that we have Lenny, who is amazing and does unbelievable work. But God forbid he ever gets sick and he's out. We need someone that's a backup for him to keep these schools running. I just can't see, Dr. Crowley on the rooftop trying to fix something, but...
No, you can't. You don't want that.
So I just want to make sure that we promote this, and I think this is a win-win for everybody.
So are you making a motion?
I'm making a motion that we reduce the assistant facility director to $65,000, homeless transportation reduced for $50,000, electricity...
By 50, right?
So the summary,
I don't know.
Pat, to help you, I did
I don't know where it came from.
the summary up there. I don't know if people can...
550.
Yep, so and that gets us to the 205.
That gets you to the 205.
So our motion is to get to 205 by adjusting MW principal contract by 764188, teacher resignation, not refilling, about 39,000, para retirement.
So to be, it's not that we're not refilling.
I'm sorry.
We're backfilling at a
lower rate.
Masters 5 from the...
So the adjustment to the position of the teacher and the para, mid-year hire facilities, homeless transportation, and electricity.
Yep, and gets us there.
We have a motion.
Second.
And a
on the
second
motion.
on the motion, Ms.
Yeah,
Mr. Kelly.
I walked in here knowing full well that I was not going to cut the assistant director.
Oh, thank you. So want to put it back in?
Position.
What?
Wait till you hear my minutes.
Okay.
Mrs. Chisholm, through the chair. But I really feel very strongly about this position. I also want to state that I think the cut to our budget for the 205 was arbitrary. And I do think that it was aimed at this position, and I don't know why, but I really feel like this position is essential to the district because not only are there 10 buildings, but there's also this safety piece that has been lumped into facilities. And there's a safety task force, and there's safety priorities, and also as we move to building a new North Woburn school, the middle schools are going to become prominent priorities. Just to forecast my minutes, particularly the Kennedy. So there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done. We absolutely need 2 leaders in that department. So I think it's a nice
Compromise?
what?
Compromise?
Compromise. Thank you.
No, it's
Yeah. So I'm in support of Ms. Chisholm's motion.
Ms. Nagel.
On the motion, yes, when we met in the Finance and Personnel Subcommittee and Mr. Dizio presented this to us, what Ms. Chisholm is proposing is precisely one of the things that I encouraged us to explore, like a mid-year salary reduction through a mid-year hire of a position. So I will be supporting Ms. Chisholm's motion with enthusiasm.
Excellent. Ms. Wetzel.
Thank you, Ms. Chisholm, for that lovely idea. I called it the Pat. And as Vice Chair Crowley said, you'll hear her minutes, but Lenny had a lengthy list of things he's getting done in the summer, not to mention the fall. And I'm hopeful, too. Director Burnham wasn't enthusiastic about someone coming in at the beginning of the year, so I think having this as a mid-year will help them get everything done and then be ready to support that person when they're ready to come in. So I'm really happy that we're able to keep him. So, add another position, that is. Should the
keep Lenny Jr.
land that way. Yes, thank you.
Mr. Oliveira.
Just a question before speaking on the actual motion for clarity. When we talk about reducing electricity, does that include, because I know in other iterations we had already reduced the electricity line, would this be additional reductions to
Yes.
electricity? Okay.
It will be in addition to what we've already done.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure, for me, that's what it was. I came in here with last meeting with a much different idea about this. My big focus was not really moving these things to revolving accounts because it didn't make sense to put something temporarily to move it back to keep moving this. After being at Resources and Capital Planning and hearing about the list of the summer items, my thought started to change even more because there is a ton of things that need to be done this summer. I don't know how Lenny and his team are going to make it happen. He has given us some assurance that it will happen, but I do very much favor this proposal that Ms. Chisholm has brought forward because it keeps us not touching this. It pushes it out so there can be a plan to get an assistant director for facilities in at a reasonable time where we're not waiting until next school year. I also would be very in support of this motion.
Excellent. Any other discussion? Mr. Mulrennan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could, obviously, I looked over Mr. Dizio's options 1 through 5, and then Ms. Chisholm falls into the 6A, B, C, D. But I think the only concern I may have, and of course this goes back many years now, so if we're going to reduce it to 65 come January, hopefully we can get someone to fill that position at 65. And again, the dimension's already been about electricity.
Well, for clarification, Mike, the position would really be 130, but it would be a half a year's salary in this budget.
Okay.
Because you'd only be working half a year.
Yeah.
We'd be
Initially.
hiring mid-year rather than hiring in September.
It'd be 130 and then prorated.
Correct.
Is the way that we frame
And
it.
it's the same way with, the homeless, the electricity, and things like that, again, this is in Mr. Dizio's area, but now, I guess we just deal with it as it comes to us. Obviously, these are his best numbers tonight, and, if they're workable numbers, and again, to Mr. Alvaro's questions about, you put this one in the revolving account, you move this one, you do this one, you do that one, it just messes up all the waters here. So I think this kind of keeps things neat. It's really not a tough sell, I don't think. I think it's something that hopefully can be doable, and over the fall, work out the kinks as far as personnel matters, as far as, what that person's going to be doing, and maybe readjust come January again. But I think this should suffice the 205 figure and not hurt that much. So I'm going to have to support Ms. Chisholm on this one.
Any more discussion on the
Move
motion?
on.
All right, let's take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And we have a budget. Moving on to school committee meeting calendar. You all received the draft with the second Tuesday, final Wednesday numbers. So I can say to start that our November 2nd meeting is supposed to be the day before Thanksgiving.
Motion to take that one out.
Just take it straight out. Should we reschedule for another?
If we need it, we can add it, but right now we just take it. Yeah, we both.
We usually have one in November
right.
and one in December.
Right.
All right, so we'll move November 25th out.
Yep.
We'll remove December 30th.
Yep.
We'll have a 30-second organizational meeting on the 4th.
Can we
And
have a meeting every week?
I can meet with you every week if you'd like. We'll remove,
Matt, is that okay?
he'll be there.
Every night.
Wednesday, June 30th, we'll just remove, and same plan. If we need to add, we'll add. Any other conflicts that people have or suggestions at this point, and of course, this is always subject to change.
Sorry, you said, apologies, Ms. Chair, but just Wednesday, June 30th, we're also removing, we're only having one
Yeah.
meeting in June?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just start the 4th of July week, so.
And it's so late.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be out of school by then.
Oh, God.
So,
School vacation.
but if we do have business that comes up, we can always meet, like, you know.
In between. Week before instead of June 30th?
Correct, Amundo. All right. Let me see here. So September 8 and 30. We have October 13th and 28th. Yes?
I just have a clarifying question. So, the 30th of September, that's the day that we're planning on a full school tour, correct?
In the morning.
In the morning?
I do not have that information.
Does that sound right?
It's the September 30.
Yeah, it's a all school committee, city council, mayor, all school tour.
I must not have seen my invitation.
Yeah, I definitely think of that.
So, okay.
Of all school, of all schools?
So you want me to talk about it a
Sure,
little bit?
that would be great.
So, this came about because on the Friday tours, obviously people have work conflicts and so can't make it. And so the thought was, and Ms. Wetzel can feel free to jump in, but if we put a date out really far in advance for people and then planned an opportunity for elected officials to hit all different levels in one day. So theoretically, I would imagine starting at the high school because they start first and then move to middle schools and then go to a couple elementary schools. So, and that's the idea behind it. Give the school itself a few weeks to kind of settle in so that we're not there the first day where it's a little bit more chaotic. Hopefully, at this point in time, students know where they're going, are comfortable in the classes. Students know the students, or teachers know student names and so forth and so on. So we had targeted midweek on Wednesday, September 30th for that.
All right.
Awesome. 9 to 4?
Probably earlier than that. So I would say probably 7:45 or 8 to 2-ish. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, that would be the same day, Mr. Olivera, to answer your question.
I'm wondering if seeing each other for that long, if that's too much in one day.
Yes, Ms. Nagel.
Through Mr. Chair. You said 7:45 to 2-ish?
1, 2,
Let's go with
Call it 2, and if you get out early,
Yeah.
you get out early.
And then I just wanted to say, this is brilliant. And I am forever appreciative. I feel very committed to the school committee and to the district. And also, as someone who has a full-time job, very much appreciate the advance notice and the opportunity to have this be accessible to those of us who have other commitments as well.
But making me get up at 7:45.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because for what it's worth, I do think that the Friday visits are valuable. I think on the city side, the elected officials that join have learned a lot about what happens in the schools in a way that they might not have. And so, in the school committee, of course, more nuts and bolts, but to be able to see your investment at work is the initiative behind this. So
Great. Any other, Ms. Wetzel?
I was just going to, I'm happy to add it to the school committee city council calendar.
I've got it in my calendar.
Then it's there. Okay.
Yeah, you can do that too, though.
Let me know.
For anybody else that didn't get the memo. Yes,
Yeah,
Ms.
sorry.
Nagel.
Again, through you, Mr. Chair. Also, I feel very compelled to just give lots of shout outs to the people that very well deserve it. And just for the public, just wanted to give Ms. Wetzel just my eternal gratitude for doing something that may seem so simple, but I think is going to be instrumental in just keeping us all in line and understanding what is happening and what is available so that we can learn more about the different opportunities throughout Woburn and that the district holds for city council and for the school committee. Creating a calendar for all of us to access and sending us invites is really going the extra mile, and I very much appreciate that.
All right, back to the matter at hand. Any other comments, questions on the calendar? Yes, Vice Chair Chisholm. Crowley, I don't know why that just rolls off the tongue. Vice Chair Crowley, please.
Because I caused too much trouble.
It's because she was better at it than me. Let's just face it. But we're posting a meeting for the 30th, and then we're inside schools, so
we'll have 2 meetings on the 30th.
Right. So I guess it's not a public meeting that people can come join us.
But they should be aware in case there's
They're
deliberation.
posting it, but I think we should just make it clear that we can't have a public meeting inside elementary schools.
Could be like an executive
right?
school.
During school.
So I don't know, there's just you'll figure it out.
We can start it in the morning outside and go into executive session and then
okay.
enter the building.
Yeah. Right. I just don't want people to
Join
get
us during the school day.
We unfortunately can't support that.
Right. Agreed. All right. Any other discussion on the school committee calendar? So with the changes aforementioned and now on your screen, thanks to Ms. McLeod, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion further? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to safe storage resolution that is also in your packet and you received previously via email. Thanks to Ms. Wetzel, who, would you like to take it away, Ms. Wetzel?
Yeah, happy to. So this was looked at again in SSA. So this originally was done by former member Lipset. And it's a resolution about the safe storage of firearms and how Woburn Public Schools supports that, as well as the messaging that we send home to families that goes home in our district-wide calendar at the end of the school year, and it's also in our high school handbook. So SSA took it upon us the past couple months to just reaffirm the resolution. We, especially with it being towards the end of the school year, kids are at home more, and just make sure adults are aware of safe storage, why it exists, and also the statistics behind it that are noted in the resolution that you have in front of you. That's also anyone at home. It's in the online portal. And so we talked about this at our meeting, our last meeting, and 2 meetings before that as well in April. And we have a few community partners as well, Ms. Diane Sento being a big one, and she does a lot with the community around safe storage of firearms and gun violence in general. So I just wanted to publicly thank her for all of her help and support and everything that she does in the community around this. And this was voted on by SSA to reaffirm, and we thought it was important that the full committee reaffirm as well because it's such an important topic. And one of the things that I really wanted to bring up about this too is we talk a lot about sunscreen, how important it is. We talk about pool safety. We don't talk a lot about weapons storage and weapons in general. I think it's a taboo topic for a lot of people, and they don't know how to talk about it. So I'm hopeful that the language that's provided in those newsletters that go home, people can get a better understanding of the questions to ask, why you ask them, and the importance of safe storage and what that really means. And if you can go on a bunch of different websites, actually, the resolution has a list of references that you can go to where you'll find the information that was pulled into the resolution. And on those websites, there's also talking points for parents or for really anybody, caregivers or just community members. So that's the resolution. I'm happy to read it if we feel like it. It's right here on the screen, and if anyone has questions, I'm also happy to take those on. But thank you to SSA, too, for your help on working on that. That committee consists of myself, Mr. Mulrennan, Mr. Oliveira, and Dr. Ryan.
Perhaps you would like to make a motion.
Oh, I would, you know what? It's like the most important thing I could do right now. So I would like to make a motion that we affirm this resolution as it currently stands with the updated changes, which was just the references and the updated information inside of the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on said motion? Yes, Ms. Chisholm.
I just want to make sure that we understand that this is for safety issues, and it's an important issue to be done. It's the same thing as seatbelts and kids wearing helmets, but it's nothing to say people cannot own guns, and we don't, not go against the Second Amendment, and everybody can purchase as many guns as they want as long as they know how to store them.
Yes, Ms. Wetzel.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Guns aren't the problem.
Right.
It's the way they're stored, it's the way they're handled, it's the way they're not used properly. So
Correct.
you are absolutely able to have a gun and store it the right way.
Just leave it out of your
Without the
kids'
reach of
hands.
those that don't need it. Exactly.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Wetzel and SSA, for your work on this. Moving on to subcommittee reports. Mrs. Chisholm and the Finance and Personnel Subcommittee.
I have two all this is ancient history now, but June 9th, we had a meeting here at the middle school, and we already approved the warrants at the last meeting, so we don't have to go through that, but we did talk about the budget for the 18th million time, and that was just a couple options that were in here, and we had to get to a total of 205, which we did tonight, rah-rah. That was cut by the mayor before our meeting, so then the subcommittee asked for further options at that meeting, and of course, Mr. Dizio came back with 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And then we did meet on June 15th here at the Joyce Middle School. Superintendent Matt Crowley, Finance Director Alex Dizio, and school committee members Jesse Wetzel, Maria, and myself. We talked about the rental agreement changes for the high school rentals. Anthony Giglio was here, and he presented the committee with a present rental agreement and highlighted where he would like to make the changes to the agreement. He presented the rental amount is not sufficient for the custodial salary amount that we pay, and he wanted it to be increased to $100 an hour. But and then Alex Dizio put on his coach's hat and told us that would probably give a lot of difficulty to the youth teams in Woburn. And so we decided that we'd go to $55 and bring that to the committee. But all this is, again, we're not discussing this tonight, but we didn't want to overburden the taxpayers in the city, since they're the ones that are actually paying for our high school. And so we had the consensus that would go up $10, and that would nonprofits and the youth groups would be at $65, going up from $55, and all outside groups would be the $100 an hour. That was going to come to us for a full vote, but this is being tabled until September, so we can take a deeper dive into this. The balance of accounts, we had Alex Dizio, the financial director, said that there was no new changes in the balance of accounts, and we'll have a final number after June 30th that we'll see when we meet over the summer. And once all the encumbrances have been made and all the principals were notified to be sure that there was no invoices left behind, so we could pay them in this budget. Then we went through the budget update again. And then on the personnel topics, Dr. Crowley updated us on the diversity hiring, and he gave us all the all the percentages and things that we had on hiring, that we've had over 2,000 applications had been received, and he gave us all stats and stuff, and that I forwarded to attach to my minutes, so you can all have those. And Director Tony Wyman has been attending job fairs at Salem State College and in Regis College to try and recruit to help us with what we want to do for our diversity in our schools. So I did include those two on our minutes, and we adjourned at 4:47.
Thank you, Mrs. Chisholm. Since you will be meeting over the summer, I do have some comments on the rental application, and also there appears to be an old KF community use of facilities policy listed in there, and which also hasn't been reviewed by the policy subcommittee yet. Right. So it actually should make its way through policy and then added to this. But if anybody else has any comments on this application, we'll talk more in September. Yes.
Yeah, and if I may, that is something that we brought up, the importance of not just reviewing the corresponding policy, KFE, but also understanding that we cannot have a practice that does not align with the policy, or vice versa. So just making sure that there were certain mentions of when the facilities can be used, right, that are at times reflected. And Ms. Chisholm did bring up the point, this is the way we've always function and done it, but I do think that it is important for us to regularly be updating our policies to be reflective of the actual practices, or then adopting different practices that align with the policies, whichever one is conducive to what is in the best interest of the district. So we did discuss that, and it is very much on our radar.
Great. Yeah, I think page 4, community use, I think that was where it says mission statement might have been our policy at one point. So we would replace that with an updated guy there. All right. Any questions for personnel and finance? No. Great. Thank you, Mrs. Chisholm. Community Relations Subcommittee.
We have not met, Madam Chair, though I'd like to meet in the fall, perhaps with Kathy Lucero, Kathy Kelly, come in and talk about the function of the Woburn Historical Society and all what they do for the Woburn partnership with the school system. So that's on my agenda for the fall.
And how I can volunteer for the 3rd grade trip, because I didn't get to take one.
Yeah.
Great. Curriculum and data trends.
We actually met today, too close to digest the notes, but I think the most pertinent thing that came out of that I want to share is related to the promotion of summer reading. The district is going to be sending out scheduled s'mores on Mondays to help promote summer reading. Just as a reminder to read during the summer. Also will promote the library's summer reading program to also increase reading during the summer. There are book swaps occurring at elementary schools during the summer, so those are more localized pieces of information that you would get from your local school. Some schools are also sending home books, and kids can also utilize some of the online components such as Sora to continue reading without physically needing a paper book.
So we're being like Libby, where you can get your ebooks and audiobooks.
Yes.
Indeed. Excellent.
And that's it for
Great.
now.
Well, any questions for curriculum and data trends subcommittee? Seeing none. Policy subcommittee?
We met on June 12th at 8 a.m. here. In attendance were Superintendent Crowley, Ms. Crowley, and myself. Ms. Chisholm was absent. And we went over BBBE, unexpired term fulfillment. And this is the policy that essentially looks at what happens if, for some reason, one of our school committee members cannot complete their term in their seat. How do we elect someone new? Made some changes that would be reflective of both the city charter and the Massachusetts general law, essentially ensuring that it is the school committee that gets to elect the new school, the temporary school committee member?
We appoint.
We appoint.
Yes.
Correct. We don't elect. We appoint
to
the school committee
complete the
member.
term. Yeah.
Yeah. Until that term is completed, and then it would go into a general normal vote. The discussion was just around the consistency between all of the different regulations, and we voted unanimously to bring it to the full committee to review ahead of tabling, as well as just ensuring that Mark Salvati gets to review for consistency. And then we also discussed some items that we want to prioritize taking up in September. Among them, in terms of buses, just regularly reviewing EEAA, walkers and riders, just so that we are being able to communicate to the public, the understanding of hazards and the difficulty with being very narrow in defining things. And also remembering that because we have buffer zones, this is going to be affecting our walkers and riders policy. So something that we have to be regularly looking at. In terms of technology, we talked about discussing whether technology uses and concerns should be a policy or a conversation or both, and how. And that it should definitely be annual, given, as I stated before, because of just the rapid changes in technology in general. We talked about the seclusion policy and the need to adapt our current policy to meet new state regulations. And Ms. Crowley brought up the very important point that we need to do some serious groundwork with affected families before we change the policy and make those changes public, so that we can address a lot of the concerns and questions that folks might have. Also that this could go through SSA as well. And lastly, the Supreme Court decision on opting out of educational content based on religion and the need to take a look at that. Lastly, in terms of other related business, Ms. Crowley brought up the fact that we needed to be very clear when we're looking at the school improvement plans policy. We talked about it being biannual, but biannual can be interpreted both as twice a year and every other year. So Ms. Crowley, very smart, yes.
Brilliant.
Very brilliant, said we need to be very clear about how we're
I can
defining
resign
that.
now.
Yes. Well, and now we have a policy
Now we know what we can do.
for what we need to do for your term fulfillment. Just making sure that we are clear that what we mean is every other year, not twice a year, and that still we're, as a school committee, we're going to be getting updates October of every year. What's changing is just that the school improvement plans are good for 2 years. And we adjourned at 8:49.
Was there, I'm trying to remember, any changes to BDFA or BDFAE? Is that when you say, like, was the word biannual somewhere in the policy?
Yes, we say biannual in the policy, but we never defined biannual. We would just like biannual, meaning every other year.
I
But
assumed it was
doesn't
twice a
say
year.
Every other year, exactly.
Okay.
See? And this is exactly why Ms. Crowley was brilliant in bringing this point up. So just for the record, it means every 2 years.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for policy? Seeing none. Resources and capital planning.
All right, ready?
Ready. Rock and roll.
All right, so we met on June 22nd here in the school committee room at 4 p.m. It was Jesse Wetzel, myself, Jose Oliveira, Dr. Matt Crowley, Len Burnham, Jim Duran, who's the director of athletics, Patty McKinnon, who's the assistant business manager. We talked about the summer capital items. I'm going to read all of them. This is what is on docket for the summer in the Woburn Public Schools. Roof replacement. And if I misspeak, please just correct me, because I have to say words that I don't know the meaning of. Roof replacement at the Shamrock Elementary School. Security updates, which I'm not going to quite go publicly, but generally speaking, burglar alarms, system adjustments under the wave at the Joyce, Kennedy, Reeves, Malcolm White, and these are coming out of the school security task force as recommendations. A relighting initiative at the Joyce. LED lights are no longer incentivized, and we're installing all new light fixtures in the classrooms, and this is through a cost-sharing initiative with Eversource and National Grid. Install air source heat pumps at the Kennedy, Joyce, and the high school to work on cooling and fix broken units, and this is part of an internal goal to decarbonize the mechanical systems in the middle school buildings. Weatherization at the Joyce, Kennedy, Shamrock, Reeves, and Malcolm White. Playgrounds. Shamrock, at the recommendation of Dr. Ryan, adding more equipment and adding rubber to make it more accessible to all learners. Reeves, working on half of the playground for the early childhood program. Okay, not hearing any contest about that. Okay. Adding fence to the grass area at the Reeves because to add more organization in terms of drop-off and pickups. Basically superficial improvements to the interior and exterior of the Kennedy, painting lockers, flooring, ceiling tiles, as you know, that was a thing, and just really making it look better for the new principal. That's very important to the administration. Again, surveillance cameras, we won't go into that, but there will be surveillance cameras installed at the Hurl, Wyman, and Malcolm White. Sprinklers, internal sprinklers, Ms. Wetzel. Reeves at the high school are getting indoor sprinkler work, replacing 25 sprinkler heads. School zone signs, one on Bow Street for the Malcolm White and one on Montville Ave for the Goodyear Clap. Ms. Chisholm, that was for you because I said Goodyear Clap. Crosswalks at the high school, at the main entrance, and the Kennedy main entrance, and the Harold Wyman, the Wyman side. Paving at the Alta Vesta. Roof work at the Alta Vesta. Yes, folks, we have to repair the roof
first.
and put patches on the roof, even though, I know. Rectifying the drainage situation at the Malcolm White. There is a hole where balls go, and
It's
there's
fenced
a
off, but
water
it's- yeah.
mitigation situation happening at the Malcolm White that is top priority to mitigate that, and then to work on the enrollment center here at the Joyce. So that's just the summer, 8 weeks, so buckle up. We talked about this, really. Ms. Wetzel asked Director Burnham about the AC at the high school. As we all know, the gym gets very hot. It's an estimation. Director Burnham knew on the top of his head how much it would cost. $1.3 million to install air conditioning at the gym at the high school. Perhaps in the future that can be embedded in a program for solar panels at the high school, perhaps. Mr. Oliveira asked questions to Mr. Burnham about, again, this decarbonization and the heat pumps, which I don't know anything about, so I'm just reading words. And then extended school year, just a reminder that it's at the Reeves this year because the roof is being replaced at the Shamrock. And so there's a very strong prioritization in the parking lot for the ESY program. So in the preceding week to our subcommittee meeting, there was extensive work done on the signage and repainting the parking lot lines for parking at the Reeves. And the administration is prioritizing hiring a crossing guard and a monitor for the parking situation during ESY at the Reeves, because we do expect the Reeves to be fairly full during the summer.
Could I actually interrupt just
Of
for
course,
a moment?
yes.
And I'd like to hear from Dr. Ryan.
And the high school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
ESY is also at the high school.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll add that to my minutes. Thank you. So ESY is at the high school and the Reeves. Thank you.
Correct.
No, that's really good.
In the past, it's been at the Shamrock in the high school,
Yeah.
and because of the roof, it will be at the Reeves in the high school.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. The fire station at Gillis Field came up, and again, we have no reason to have any other conclusion, but the work is going to start after ESY. There will be work starting on July 1st, but it will not impact ESY or the learning. There's been no changes to that. That was kind of the promise made to us when we approved the land. And that concluded the discussion on summer capital projects. Moving on to the capital plan, I won't go into it. You have it there as Exhibit A to my minutes. It is basically talking about what the priorities are for the next 5 years. There's one thing I do want the committee to know about. There was this concept of considering the MSBA for accelerated repair program for the middle schools now that we've gone the path that we're going in terms of the North Woburn School. There was a discussion, not even a discussion, there was an idea percolating about MSBA for accelerated repair, but in no way, shape, or form are we ready or applying or doing anything of that nature. But what you need to know is that since we are prioritizing the building of the North Woburn School, the Kennedy has now become more of a project for facilities to try to make it improve the actual layout of the building with painting and things of that nature, windows, things like that. So that was the capital plan. The other thing was we had our 2 cents in the building rental application situation. From a facilities perspective, we support the increase to the custodian fee because as facilities, we're concerned about the wear and tear on our buildings. So we chimed in on that, and we concur with finance that there should be an increase to support the impact that renting our buildings has on the buildings. We heard from Jim Duran on 2 things. One is that he wants to reach out to the private organization that rents our fields for soccer, and they use portable lights. He wants to try to see if they would be interested in some sort of deal to install permanent lights. He's going to do that and report back to us. The other thing is that someone reached out to him regarding providing resources to the school department for softball, and he wanted our authority, so to speak, to reach out and get more information about that. Again, nothing that we need to vote on, nothing that we need to know. Okay. Last topic is that considering the extremely ambitious projects for the summer of 2026, we decided that we might want to do a building walkthrough in late August to support and celebrate the work that our facilities department does during the summer, and that will be scheduled at some point. And then we adjourned at 5:23.
Delightful. Any questions, comments, concerns for Ms. Ryan, Dr. Ryan first, and then Ms. Nagel?
Hi, just a comment on the playgrounds.
Yes,
So a
please.
special education grant is being utilized to make playgrounds at both the Shamrock and the Reeves more accessible. The Shamrock will have, and we did have a stakeholder group, and we had some really great feedback. The Shamrock will have the rubberized surfacing, the poured in place installed, as well as some pieces that are accessible to students with disabilities. We're also adding some shade. That was something that people really asked for. So we are doing that at the Shamrock. The Reeves has a more significant update. And the reason is because the students with disabilities at the Reeves has gone up significantly as the preschool program has grown in size there, the PALS program is there. So that actually needed a more significant update. And there will be poured in place on at least half of the playground. The preschool will have some new structures, which it very desperately needs, and there will also be in the general part of the playground some new structures that have transfers for kiddos in wheelchairs, and just some really nice accessible equipment. So the Reeves will have quite an update as well.
Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Ms. Nagel.
I had a question, because I don't know if it maybe just came up at all in conversations. I understand that the investment that would be needed to add air conditioning to many of our schools is considerable and not something that we can actually do right now. But was there any talk about some sort of airflow situation in some of these areas? I'm thinking the Linscott cafeteria, for example. It is not just that it's hot, it is that it is stagnant, right? And there's no movement of air. So I can only imagine in the classrooms it's worse, and so the conditions that our kids are attempting to learn in. So wondering if there can be, or if there was any discussion of like fans and opening windows and something that is more, as a fellow person that doesn't know the things. I don't know if that's actually really complicated or not, but if that came up at all.
Well, I can say that in the past, we have asked for air conditioning many, many, many times, and I believe that it puts a strain on the electrical grid, and then there's the older buildings don't even have any capability of AC, HVAC. They only have heating. So I think that's it. As for fans, I'm sure.
Sorry.
Of course, Dr. Crowell.
I do know that within the last 2 weeks, Mr. Burnham has delivered dozens of fans to all the schools.
Awesome.
So, in response to, it's cooled down a little bit, but a couple weeks ago we had that heat wave, and so.
Yeah.
Ms. Wetzel.
If I could, Ms. Nagel, I had talked to Lenny very briefly about this as well, because I was at the school one of the days, the Alta Vesta, and it was very, very hot. And we received a piece of communication about how hot it was. And he was saying to put like units even into like a classroom, you would need a minimum of 2. And the electrical grid doesn't support it. And something about, these are also words I don't get, but like you can't plug it in because the volts don't match. And because they don't match, it's not safe. Yeah. And then there's this like a unit, like a fan, like a portable, not a fan, but it's like an AC unit that twirls and you just plug it in. That wouldn't work either because it wouldn't do enough. And also the grid and then doesn't support that either.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't want to come across as the person that had the great ideas that everyone looks at and it's like you don't think we thought about that. But just as a question thought, there's those units that go on the windows. They're fans, right? They're not AC units. They're just a window fan. Like a window fan, like those square fans, and they just allow for the air to flow. Like, is the voltage?
That's probably what Lenny
situation
handed out.
There?
That's what you put around.
Those are the ones that are being delivered?
And you had stand-up ones, too.
Both, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Great. Any other questions? Any other questions for resources? Moving on.
Just a comment on that. They don't have to be too jealous because we have the old Wyman that's our newest school and it was 80 degrees on the 3rd floor.
Let the record reflect. Yes, Ms. Wetzel.
Sorry, just one more thought on the resources piece. When we were talking about the parking at the Reeves, I know it's obviously being heavily looked at because ESY is there, but also Director Burnham and his team were there the past few weeks, and some of the lines they were painting were for the accessible spots, and some of those also weren't marked with appropriate height signage, so they were fixing that as well, which
Excellent.
hopefully can help with the day-to-day traffic from our friends at school as well.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Mulren.
If I may, also regarding the Reeves and the fire station, there is a fire station meeting coming up.
Well, let's talk about that at future correspondence, because we're still in subcommittees.
Okay.
Thank you. Student Services
On
and
subcommittees,
Achievement.
if I may, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr.
The
Mulren.
concept of touring the building, again, I know we're doing it as public officials, and I know it's difficult right now, but perhaps have open houses at our schools. Arrange that so that the citizens, the people that are paying on these investments, can also, I'm not saying all-day tours, just to walk through a building and just say, wow, I have been in this building forever. This looks really, really great. Just an idea that I had with, going along with, the superintendent, the mayor, and the city council and us is one thing, or we could just have an opportunity for the citizens to come by and see the buildings and see what the needs are, and two, what we've done over the years to make them better.
When we get the new assistant facilities director.
I'm sure the administration will take that under advisement. Yes, Ms. Wetzel.
So sorry. To Mr. Mulren and through the chair, we're doing our Back to WPS night on October 7th, and it'll also be the finale for our strategic plan. So anyone from the community can come to that. Well, you don't get to go to all of our schools. You at least get to see all of our departments and the cool work we're doing in the school. So I agree. I think that's a great opportunity for community members that maybe don't have kids inside the system to come and come check us out.
Thank you, Ms. Wetzel. Speaking of, Student Services and Achievement.
Yep. We met. When did we meet? Sorry. Oh, dear. So, hang on. I'm sorry. My notes just got really big on my screen.
All the better to see them.
No, not me. I apologize. So we did meet. It was a 2-minute meeting, and
I like that.
very short. It could have been the shortest on record. So it was just Mr. Oliveira and I in attendance. There were scheduling conflicts throughout the course of the school year, so I'm glad we were able to squeeze the meeting in. And we voted to reaffirm the resolution and pass it forward to the full committee. It was a 2-0 vote, and we adjourned 2 minutes later, and my screen's still weird, so the date was the... do you need it?
No, I think that's
sometime recently. It was that Monday.
Was it the 15th?
You met on the 15th.
The 15th. We met on the 15th in this space.
All right. Negotiations subcommittee. Oh, any questions for SSA? BTW. Okay. Negotiations?
Yes, we also met. So we met on June 16th, so the following day. My notes, again, will be posted on the WPS negotiations website link. These particular notes aren't up yet. They will be by Friday, maybe even tomorrow. So we were presented with a WTA presentation around municipal finance. They went over about a 15-minute or so presentation, and we talked through updates both from the WTA responses and the school committee responses, and all of those, like the updates that we went through, you can find in my notes. Building temperature actually did come up at the Joyce. Many members are taking screenshots of how warm the temperatures can get inside the classroom, so we definitely hear you. It's hot. So that was noted, and something that we're always constantly looking at. We have some more revised language to work through many of the proposals, and we will be meeting through the summer. Our next meeting will be July 1st at 11, and these are all in executive session, so these aren't open to the public, just the committee members that are there. And then, as I always say, just thank you to everyone that's at the table. It's a lot of work that goes into it, and very much appreciate it.
Questions for negotiations subcommittee? Yes, Ms.
Well, the only thing, it's not a question, it's a comment. I felt bad that Jesse was the only one there for the school committee. We have to remember that this is the school committee's contract with the teachers, so we have to make sure that we do have a sitting committee members there with her, so she's not alone at the table. So I just think that congratulations for going, and I thank you for doing that. But this is our contract, so we have to make sure that we are well represented.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't realize, was there a scheduling conflict with the?
So, and I apologize, maybe I should have reached out, but yes, so 2 members of the committee, so Mr. Mulren and Mr. Oliveira, had previously scheduled things that they couldn't attend the meeting. I guess for future reference, should that happen, would it be appropriate then for me to reach out to Chair Cormier and say, can we get a sub in? Because you can, I believe, correct?
Well, I
sub in
think
members?
also when you schedule them, I think when you
No?
schedule
Okay.
them, if there's something that people already have, we should.
I think it's hard because there's
So many-
priority scheduling that we have to use.
It's just one meeting, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's, I think.
I think I mean, the standard is for
Yes.
3 members,
Mhm.
but, things do come up, but we'll try to work around those.
I know for the summer meetings, we all have those in our calendar, and everyone reported that they can make it. So
Great.
we should be good.
All right, thank you. Questions for negotiations or other comments? All right, correspondence. As we queue up the video from the Harlow Library at WMHS, I will mention that I received an email from Rachel Kuberry on finance and personnel diversity hiring comments, which was discussed. Caitlin Skinner, accolades for the Reveal Math. Nancy Morris-Dallowell regarding an involuntary transfer. Any other correspondence at this time? Usually come. Yes, Mr. Mulrennan.
If I may, Madam Chair, just I happened to stop by the Kennedy 8th grade celebration yesterday. I was reminded that they've asked for their DC trip for 2027, and they have not heard back from the administration yet. If someone in the administration could get back to that group.
I have been in communication with Jade.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And also, I know we had some concerns this evening on the open comments. I didn't know if the superintendent wanted to address any of that this evening or hold off, or what his response might be to the comments this evening.
I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment on a personal matter.
Thank you.
Let's, Ms. Wetzel.
Sorry, just one. This was 2 student services from Miss Gary, just on her daughter, Nalina Nem, who achieved perfect attendance this year at the Kennedy Middle School. She wanted to bring that to our attention, and then it was forwarded to the rest of the committee.
Yes, Ms. Nagle.
I did receive a correspondence from Ms. Rachel Kuberry regarding the technology aspects of what we are looking to review in policy.
Thank you. Looks like we're having technical difficulties with our video, and should have played it first.
We had a battery.
Yeah.
Might be a sign.
Might be time to wrap up. Well, let's move on to future agenda items as we.
Actually, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I think Ms. Mulrennan had an update on Gillis Field and the fire station, I think.
I'm sorry,
When do we
yes.
mention those? Do we do it under future? It's not an agenda item. Do we
Well,
call it
just the next,
correspondence? I guess?
Thursday, tomorrow, is the
Yeah.
1 o'clock fire station meeting where the mayor and the committee discusses both stations and the progress of both projects as regards to the school department.
And that is where?
At City Hall, downstairs, in City Hall Engineer's office.
Very good.
Just through the chair to Ms. Mulrennan, is it your understanding nothing's changed in terms of?
No, that's what we're saying tonight, I'm just giving out open
Yeah,
information.
okay. Oh, I just wanted to make sure. All right, thank you.
While we work on our. Yes.
I can, I spoke to the site engineer yesterday relative to the Reeves Fire Station. And so they were on campus today, doing, like, marking things. Like when we talk about using words that I don't use. But scouting it out, if you will. And so they are planning to do some site work over the summer. And the person with whom I spoke gave me his cell phone and then told me to give anybody that is connected to the Reeves his phone, because when they're working, he will be on site. So if there's anything at all that we need to address, he's more than happy to assist in any way he can.
Dr. Crowley, do you get a sense that they know ESY is happening?
Oh, yeah,
July?
I
Okay.
went through
Yeah.
all of it with
All
him.
right, that's
So,
what I thought.
yeah, and you know, yes, so they're very aware
Okay.
that it will be in the month of July an extremely busy place.
Understood. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that my minutes were accurate, and that was, that the city in the fire station committee is dedicated to carving out the peaceful time for ESY for our kids. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ryan.
Just to add to that, excuse me, we did meet at the Reeves with the Woburn Police Department with a few different people. Mr. Burnham was there, the ESY director was there, and we looked at it carefully. We also have hired some people just to help out in the parking lot for safety day. So we really did try to put our heads together to do everything possible with that.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Yes, Mr. Mulrennan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could, also regarding the East Woburn Fire Station across from the Goodyear, the project manager over there happens to be Roy Robley, and he reached out to me today, and I got a hold of Ms. Patrici to let him know if there's any conflict coming up over the summer for any construction matters that might be occurring at the Goodyear. So, again, similar to the Reeves, they're working with us at the school department for any issues that might come up at the Reeves, the Goodyear, sorry.
Okay. Dr. Carly, did you have anything that you might have motioned? What was for?
Jesse's.
Oh, I just,
Yes.
were we on to future agenda items? Or are we
No,
still
we're
on
just about to watch this
correspondence?
video
Oh,
from the
okay.
Harlow Library, and then we will be on it.
Understood.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod, for your tech savviness. This was sent to us from the new librarian? Right?
Battery?
Way, good. It's way over to the left.
Yep.
Hit the play. We should be.
Hey, there it is.
Ah, Ms. Castaldi.
Nice, it's being used.
It's good to see kids in it.
Yep. She's doing a good job. Yeah.
Whoa.
Book tastings?
Delicious. Thank you to Ms. McGillan for providing that
That's awesome.
and all the incredible work she does at the Harlow Library,
Yeah, so-
WMHS.
Just if I may.
Yes, you
she's
may.
in her first year, and tomorrow, obviously, will conclude her first year, and you can see what a difference she's made. She's transformed the library into a hub, a place where kids go to check out books. Sora is a digital way for students and adults to check out books as well. It's the equivalent of Libby, for those of you that do that through the public libraries, but Sora does that. We've had leadership team meetings at the library, and she's presented to our leadership team about Sora, about accessing the New York Times. Like, she's enthusiasm is contagious, and so very, very lucky to have her, and she put this together without prompting, and so, again, grateful to have her, and she's from the Midwest, and so she is incredibly nice as well.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Future agenda items. Yes, Ms. Wetzel.
Yes, I think it would be great if we could talk more about AI tech. I don't know, as an agenda item, just get more information. I don't know
Okay.
what that exactly would look like, but I do think it's a topic that many people in the community have brought up, and it's in our handbook, and we've talked a
Yeah.
little bit about it in different subcommittees too, but
Make a note of that. Any other future agenda items for 3 months from now? All right, we have nothing
Summer
else.
break.
I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, anybody?
Oh, second.
No,
Second.
no. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Have a good
everybody.
summer.